Hey, this is RePenWolf-Gaming, and welcome back to Valhalla. It seems we've made it into Chapter 3, and we're cutting it close to the wire. I don't think we're going to make the 10,000 rent. We're going to get kicked and booted out of our own apartment. But, I mean, does it matter anyway? I mean, we'll have funds to move somewhere maybe cheaper, hopefully. Why keep paying this $10,000 rent for this job, you know? If I was in her shoes, though, I'd probably save way more money before making any crazy plans like this. So, I don't think we did buy the thing, right? And we were gonna try and make the money, and maybe somebody will give us a bunch of tips. So yeah, buying a poster of it will prevent her from getting too distracted. I have a pen on me, and I guess I have now paper, so I'll write it down, and we'll get to see the scatterbrained Jill with her weird messages instead of her thoughts on the matter. So let's give it a shot. Alright, I got a pen. And we'll read up the articles we missed out on. So, yeah, let's see. Yoro need new season. It's finally here. I can't believe I'm alive for this day. Thank you, based god. All boards report in. What other boards, you idiot? Nice, more stupid mob blobs. YY gets a new season, but the actual best YY is still up in the air. My internet service gets cut off tomorrow because I can't afford it anymore. Wake me up! You got a job, you stupid neat. Oh god, here we go. Prepare hot cocoa, sit in comfy couch, put on my favorite mega Christmas sweater, see snow falling outside, turn on the heater, get my blanket, watch glorious YY, and fall asleep when it ends. I am the comfy. Wish I was as comfy. Crying face. Have work tomorrow. Enjoy the Euros. For me, danger you. Sounds cute. For nerds, maybe. They're all a bunch of nerds! My brain, it rots. Okay. Biker gang arrested after vandalism. That sounds interesting. During protests. The members of one of the largest biker gangs in the Motor City sector were arrested after the group's leader and her entourage were found at the site of a protest last Friday. Their leader, commonly known in the streets as Christine Love, declared to the press that they were unjustly arrested and that her gang was only there to defend protesters from the White Knights. They're afraid of us. They know they can't take us down in the streets. So they used protesters as a shield, and we have no option but to surrender. Love told AE during a phone conversation. They're currently detained and waiting for trial. The formal charges are unknown so far. Now, from my understanding, at least most bikers and biker gangs, they're not that bad. Like they're probably some of like the more nicer people in some cases. I mean, sure, some of them are actually part of like inner city gangs, and you want to stay away from that. But I've seen them like block like city sections for people like walking and stuff like that. It's and like people on motorcycles, they got it pretty hard because like people do like dumb shit, you know. And they tried to like run them off the road. It's so bad. Parliament discusses anime influence. Oh, what the? During an unusual meeting held at Parliament today, delegates discussed the effects of anime on the population. Japan, you've infected the world. It's nothing but filth, trash. A representative for the Workers' Party yelled during the meeting, "If I could choke every single writer and animator out there, I'd do it. I'd choke them with my own enhanced hands." Several anime studio heads have responded to the news. I think they would ban it if it wasn't bringing so much money into the local market. Yamake, a producer, told the Augmented Eye during a phone interview. I do agree that anime is trash, but I'll save the genre, you can trust me. Yes, important topics and all. I mean, like, what's the difference between anime and, like, regular cartoons? It's just the different animation style, right? Taylor the brain tired after name. Tired of name change requests. A couple of weeks ago, we wrote about Taylor, one of the brains from the Solo Anima project. One of the highlights from the interview that was unfortunately stripped from the finished version was a straight comment about how many people asked Taylor to change their name to Brain on a regular basis. I know people try to be funny, but I won't change my name for a punchline. Taylor told the AE team, I like the name Taylor, and there's nothing wrong with Brain. I just won't be a part of the joke. My life is worth more than that. Taylor is currently looking at their chances at becoming a senator in the upcoming electoral season. Taylor! Yeah, we saw them. They were such a nice person inside of a jar. Which is a little weird, but, you know. But I guess, you know, our body is just a jar, but, you know, in human form. Humanoid form? I don't know at this point. But these people are becoming, like, part cyborg and all that. You know, what am I to say? You know, that's not, I guess it's not that weird if you think about it. Let's go to work and try our best not to fail so spectacularly. Good evening. Hey, Joe. Let's have a New Year's party this Saturday. Uh-oh. Isn't that a bit too soon? Why? Did someone famous get killed at New Year's at a New Year's party? No, I mean, never mind. Sure, I'm for it. We need the money, though. It's not party time. Great. And Gil? He's coming too. I mean, it's not like he has anything else to do. Hey. No, I mean, where is he? He was escorting a client of his to the station. He should be back any second now. Back. See? So you coming to the New Year's party too, Gil? It's not like I have anything else to do, so... I told you. We're depressing people. Yeah. The kid from the other day, Gabby, I think you called her, asked me to give you this. I believe it's a note. A note? Gabby, let's see. First of all, I want to apologize for my behavior before. I was still hurt by my sister's death, and it wasn't fair to take out all the stress on you, let alone blame it on you. So it feels weird to ask this of you after how I threatened you, or how I treated you, but I really want to talk to you. I want to catch up, to chat for a while, to do what you were doing with me before I lashed out. I want to understand this freedom you talked about, the fear that drove you to a fight with my sister. I'll go back to the bar on the 31st. It won't take much. I'll go back to the bar on the 31st. I won't take much of your time. If you don't want to see me after all that, I'll understand. But please, I really want to talk to you, Gabby. Wow, that girl has a big vocabulary. She was always a smart one. The 31st is written in a different handwriting. Oh yeah, she asked me when would you be here and relatively free. So I told her about the party. I also assumed you'd say yes to the party, which might not have been the best idea, now that I think about it. Boss, I'm having second thoughts about coming to the party. What? Why? Because I really don't want to face Gabby again. That's coming back to me, what drove me to never go back and apologize after all these years. Fear and shame. Shame because I know I made a hideously stupid mistake, and it's painful to face your mistakes. And fear of what they might say. With Lenore, we never broke up formally, so I was always afraid that if we were to meet again, she'd break up with me. Oh, is that why? I don't want Gabby to tell me that she hates me to my face. Lenore was in the right to break up with me, and Gabby is in the right to hate me. But I don't want her to. Maybe if I never see her again, she'll never tell me that, and... Jill, you idiot. You're thinking backwards. Didn't the letter say she wanted to understand you? If you bail out on this, she'll hate you. Not only that, but you're getting a new chance here. You want to live the rest of your life running from another memory? Didn't you just say to Armitage that you hated feeling like that? Armitage. Titty hacker. Alma, right. I don't know what happened. Ugh, excuse me. When you fought with that girl's sister. But now you have a chance to make amends. Not only that, you have us watching your back. So I want you to think about this. One day of fear or a lifetime filled with regret. Which one do you pick? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I hate a feeling like that. I won't run away this time. Good, because I would have gone to your apartment and dragged you out of there if need be. Hey, boss. Hey, boss. Thanks. That's what friends are for. Yeah. Anyway, let's start the day. Let's. Hopefully. We can make 10 grand and make it all disappear in one day, right? That's the worst, man. I would never pay 10 grand for an apartment. That's just madness. Just buy a house at that point. You know? Alright, time to mix drinks and change lives. Seriously though, there's a second note that has stirred such feelings in me. Second one? 2 weeks ago, I got another note in the mail. This one is from Lenore. Was that the envelope you took away from me in a panic? Yep. You haven't opened it. Why not open it with Gabby? You're facing one fear. Might as well face the other. Maybe. Don't push her, Chief. I'm not. I just know she's capable of doing all that. I'll go secure stuff for the party. Call me if you need anything. Keep it up, Jill. Thanks. Happy holidays! Someone's happy. We held a party for the staff and their children. You should have seen their faces of those kids receiving gifts. Nabbing that Santa suit at the last minute the other day was totally worth it. Santa dresses seem to have been popular this year. I heard they were sold out in most places. There was this weird shortage of Santa suits, but luck was on my side this year. Sorry for that outburst. Wow, you look so happy. I felt happy too. You shouldn't hide your happiness. Anyway, can you get me a cobalt velvet, please? Sure. The 31st, huh? The cobalt velvet. So I read a little bit. It says that if you make these drinks into doubles, you can get a little bit extra money. So that's what we're gonna do. They asked for a cobalt velvet. Hopefully they won't be mad if you give them a big one. So 10 chemistries. So I'm rocks and mixed. Okay, so it's a big one and it costs 280. So if we're correct, it should cost 560. It did. We did make that, okay. I think. Well, here. Thanks. Are you meeting with Say today? She should be in here in a bit. She told me she wanted a drink here, since I was coming here too. Sadly, I can't stay for long. I have some errands to run. How has she been lately? She's better. Her wounds have been healing really nice. If only she stopped scratching at their bandages so often. What about her eye? Eye? Oh, hers. Sorry. It'll take longer to heal, but as long as it's kept clean, there shouldn't be no problem. To be honest, I'm more worried about her emotional wounds. She doesn't show it, but she had depressive bouts from time to time. Who can blame her? Her life's changed completely. The job she loved no longer exists. She was used as a disposable pawn in the whole bank affair. I'm afraid it will all make her go back to her old ways. Old ways? It was a rough spot when Say was a teen. Her mom's clinic was about to close, and her biological father was an asshole showed up. And the teachers at her school didn't help. Say is not a slow learner by any means, but her way of learning stuff is different. She needs equivalents to things she knows. You need to get a bit in her mindset. Once you get this, she's a fast learner, but schools don't have that kind of patience. They really don't. They're factories built to download information into your brain, and they were built out of the industrialization, I want to say, so that people could go work in factories. And that system has been barely, revised and improved upon, right? We're all sitting at desks so that we can monotonously inject that information into our brains, and it's just like more and more information. But there's kids out there who just need to like fidget, you know. Back in, not too long ago, if you wrote with your left hand, your hand would get like smacked, right? Corporal punishment was a thing. And then you weren't allowed to draw or like use fidget toys, but like, I don't know, there's probably so much things that need to be updated, I guess, in the school system. Basically branded her a failure. She even dropped out. I would have suggested a special course somewhere else, but that would have been offended her. She's always been against being labeled as special or different. Anyway, Sei was totally different during that period. Foul-mouthed, short-fused, always frowning, the total opposite of how she is nowadays. From time to time I see her, that old look across her face, and it scares me. Comparing her to her teen self, though, people mature. Maybe she'll show signs from time to time, but I bet Sei knows better than to go back to that. I hope so. Give me something cold and sweet, will you? Sure. Who came? Oh, not Gabby. Something cold and sweet is what she wanted. So my memory isn't that bad, as long as I don't get distracted. The player, me. Cold, right? Cold. Oh shit. Cold and sweet, right? So something with ice and it's sweet. The piano woman is 320. Marantini. Moonblast. Nope, too cheap. Blue Fairy? Nope, cheap. Sparkle Star? I know what we're getting. Cold and sweet. Wait, it doesn't have ice in it. Oh. I guess that's not what we're doing. Sweet. No ice. Moonblast. Is 180. Blue Fairy. 170. Oops. I guess that's what we're going. A Moonblast. And we're trying to make it a big one, so this should be 360. That's 12. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 4 of these. And that's a big one on the rocks and blended. There we go. So this should pop up 360, or it said 380, so I guess maybe we got a tip. Here. Thanks. This is the kind of stuff Sei asked for, you know? Now that you mention it. So I take it Sei's family situation is exactly fine in Danny, huh? It's a mess they've tried to fix over time, and I'm glad to say they've actually done it. Sei's mom had a really abusive relationship with Sei's biological father. Sadly, like many women in that situation, she just tried to justify his actions. But apparently things got nasty when Sei's mom, Miss Emmy, got pregnant. At that point, she had an epiphany, one could say. She didn't want that guy to raise her child, so she finally sought help. Things weren't so easy, though. Before the authorities could take him away, Miss Emmy got a serious beating from him. She still uses a cane to walk, thanks to that. She moved here. Sei was born, she started her veterinary clinic. So, did he come back? He was drunk and couldn't find any drugs, so he made it to the city. He caused a ruckus for a couple of days until Sei managed to scare him off. How? She beat him near to death 3 times. Whoa. Did he come back for the other 2? Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but Oh, don't worry, I laughed too. The dramatic irony there is delicious. It really is. It's sad, but like your own girl beating the dad's ass. I mean, it's kind of pathetic actually. I've been wondering, can you really be so calm in the lower parts of the city? I mean, the streets are not exactly safe, and a cat boomer is sure to become a target. I have my security staff with me at all times, so there's no problem. Besides, this part of the city is comfier. Come again? Sure, uptown is cleaner and maybe more secure. It's also too sterile. Around here, you can actually feel the warmth of the people. You feel there's people living. Especially like going to a busy food stand, I feel warmth there that's uptown doesn't have. It's true. The food stands, the holes in the walls that you find for food, amazing. And like they just make it right, you know? It's so good. It's also easier to talk to people. You finally came. Welcome. If you try to talk to someone in the upper part of the city, they either shrug you off or flat out ignore you. That's true. People around here are a bit wary, but they are also more likely to talk to you. Things aren't nice there, though. Can I get you something? I feel like having a beer. Make that 2. I just want 1. I'm asking for 1 for me, adding 1 to your order. Oh, that, right. Focus, Jill, focus. It's not 31st yet. Stop worrying. We're totally worrying right now. Okay, we gotta make them 2 big beers. Because we're worrying a lot. Two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And mix. That's 1 big beer. 2 arrowheads. 4 Bronson extracts. 2 deltas. 4 of these Flanner guides. Filled to the brim with chemistry. No ice, no aging, you just mix it, and we serve. Here. Thank you. Thanks. See? Say. You should have seen the kids after you left. They're all playing with the toys you picked. You nailed it again this year. These are like my 2 most favorite characters of this game. You know, Alma's pretty cool too. And Gil and the boss. They're interesting backgrounds that you just can't like put your finger on, you know? They were all playing with the toys you picked. You nailed it again this year. They're all asking, where's Say? Where's Say? Why do they call you just Say when they call me Auntie Stella? I don't look that old. Don't worry, they still like you. Sorry, I had to leave, but Mom worked overtime that night, and I couldn't leave her alone. I mean, a girl with blue hair, right, looks young, like, all the time. But people who are more prim and proper always look older. Sorry I had to leave, but Mom worked overtime that night and I couldn't leave her alone. You know, like the professional look. What happened? Well, there were fireworks and some dog thought it'd be safe to hide in a jar. The little guy managed to get his head and a paw inside before getting stuck. And it was plastic, so they couldn't just try to break it. That's messy. She needed someone to hold the dog while she worked. Poor fellow was scared. Well, I'm out. Oh yeah. We'll have a New Year's party this Saturday if you want to come. Sure, it's better than depressing myself with my dad's woes for the next fiscal year. I'll be here. Bye, Jill. Bye, Say. Careful. Please come again. You want to come too? I'd love to. I'll also make up for not coming last time. How was the party? Pretty nice. We played Truth or Dare. Had some fun, broke some glasses, ate lots and lots of food. Seriously, looking back, the amount of food was ridiculous compared to the number of people who were there. Better leftovers than left hanging, don't you think? It's true. Yeah. Can I get you something? Let's try something classy. Alright, okay. Nothing first, huh? I know some of you guys are not Americans, right? And you guys like get so, what's the word, worked up about our portion sizes and whatnot. But we don't eat all that food. We just take it home for later and we heat it up again. But I know maybe like some people in Europe, right? They'll get like smaller serving sizes and things like that. I don't know how you guys do it. I mean, having things fresher is usually better. But sometimes you just don't want to go and make another meal, you know? Maybe it's lazy, but it's very convenient just to heat up some leftovers. I don't know. Maybe I have a different perception. What did she want again? Shit. Classy, right? Yeah. Brantinis are $2.50. $2.80 for a cobalt velvet. Fringe Weaver, $2.60. Bad Touch, $2.50. $2.80 seems to be our highest, so we'll go with that. So 4, 3 that makes 6. And fill to the brim of Cametrine. And make our drink, and we have a cobalt velvet. Something classy. Yep, this is the thing. Stella came in quite cheery about Sunday. This Sunday? Oh yeah. Well, you know her birthday is actually the 25th. Really? There's a weird story from when she was a kid. She heard Mega Santa's story and somehow she got it into her head that by being born on the 25th, she was the spiritual reincarnation of the original Santa. It made her start giving out gifts like crazy. She got over it, but the gift thing stuck to her. Spiritual reincarnation? Well, the story says Redmond's family destroyed Santa's spirit. That Mega Santa was reborn as a manifestation of the Christmas spirit. She thought she was the old Santa spirit in a new body. That girl was delusional as a kid. Huh. Speaking of things you did when you were young. Stella mentioned she worried about you going back to your old ways. Something about a rough period where you were angry or something. Oh, that. It's sweet that she's worried, but I won't go back to those days. Just like that, though. Even if I face the same situation, I'm more mature, you know? Not a teen anymore. Expected as much. Told her as much. Hey, can you get me something bubbly? Sure. Focus, Joe. Focus. Stop the verse yet. Stop worrying. Oh, I'm still worried. Bubbly, right? It's a flavor, apparently. $2.60, $2.80. Beer and that are cheap. So the $2.80 one is cobalt velvet again. So I'll just give her another one. Why not? It's where her tongue goes numb. Ah, my ears. All systems go. I gotta remember not to pick that one again. It's not a bad song or anything. It's just my ears every time it comes on. Like it bursts my eardrums. Let's see. We got rocks. Maybe just gotta mix it. Here you go. Here. Bubbly, bubbly. Hey Jill, this might seem a bit random, but do you remember the first time I came here? Yeah, you're the second white knight I've served. I remember. Why? Precisely because of that. I've been meaning to ask you about that story. How was the other experience with the White Knight? I had to put it simply, the total opposite of you. Oh? She came here as a part of her work, looking for information on some case. I went through the motions, offering her a drink and all that, but she came only for a job. At first I thought she was just another private eye, but she showed me her badge and all. What kind of case was it? I wouldn't know. She never told me, but she asked if I saw some people. She got pretty intense when I told her I had no idea who she was talking about. I suggested she ask the vending machines outside, and they told her the suspect climbed on them. She got her info, and she left. Pretty professional, a bit intimidating. She seemed personally invested in the case, though. The way she lost her cool was suspicious. You seem to be pretty good at reading people, Jill. It makes me kind of jealous. Nah, I'm not good at that. It's just a coincidence that I noticed it. But you noticed it. I'm not good at reading people. Even if the key was thrown in my face, I wouldn't be able to see it. I'm sure you can compensate with another skill. Any particular reason you asked me about that event? Not really. Just on the fact that I was only the other white knight you served. Weird. I mean, really? Just two? Weird, I know. I spent most of my life with almost no interactions with the white knights until I met you. Means you've had a nice life then. That sounded creepier than I thought. I mean, if you don't have any interaction with the authorities, that's usually a good sign, you know? Most of the time, I guess, like, you would want some positive interactions with the law enforcement, you know, to make sure that, one, that they do their jobs, and two, that they're like a force of good, you know? That you could trust that they'll be there, but yeah, that sounded creepier than I thought. But yeah, well, I'm done for today. Thanks, Jill. He's coming in. I'll go take my break, Gil. Sure. All right. That wasn't too bad. That's our last save slot, so we're gonna have to start saving on these. They need to give us like 10 pages just to make sure we get every single day. Well, anyway, that's for this part. We'll come back at another time, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.